Hi people, just doing a tutorial here again. Gonna show you how to do something along the lines of this. Looks pretty snazzy. But yeah, I got asked by one of my friends to do a tutorial like this. So we'll probably get stuck into it. By the way, if I get enough people asking me, maybe in the comment box below or something, I'll do a Super Saiyan tutorial, which is, I got this image from the music video of Nemic, Deathbox, and then I turned it into this. So, and it's pretty cool. But yeah. Anyway, moving on to the tutorial. First of all, you're going to want to get your picture. I just went to hdwallpapers.net. What you want to do is, once you've gone there, click on HD wallpapers, nature HD wallpapers, my bad, and it's down the bottom. So yeah, but you can use any image you want, but this is the one I'll be using. So we'll open up paint.net and we'll import our picture. Open. And yeah, so first of all, what you want to do is you want to go to Effects, Photo, and Glow. I'm just going to leave mine on the defaults, which is 6, 10, and 10. But whenever you're blurring or you're glowing, just muck around with it and just don't completely copy me, otherwise you're not going to learn anything. Try and get your own little effect going on this or something. So yeah, once you've done that, then select a middle part. I'm going to try and get in a bit of the mountain over there, the water and the tree. And then you want to cut that, or you can press Ctrl X and then make a new layer, and then you paste it in there. Then rename layer 2 background middle. Then what you want to do is, once you've still on background middle, get your magic wand tool and hold down shift and just press up the top. So it'll have two parts selected. Then once you've done that, invert your selection, which I think you can do by going edit and then invert selection, but usually I just press Ctrl I. So once your selection is inverted, then add a new layer, then go to your paint bucket tool, and the shortcut for that is F, and then just fill that with black, pitch black, and then rename that layer to black. After you've done that, move your black layer down below background middle. Now it looks like it's just completely disappeared, but it hasn't. On your black layer, just Gaussian blur that, effects, blurs, and Gaussian blur. Now I'll probably use a 20 for this, or 25. Also, if you want to make your blur a bit darker, you can go duplicate and make it a bit darker, but there's no real need for that at the moment for me. Feel free to do it if you want to. Once you've done that, go to your background layer and then go to adjustments and then hue and saturation. What I've done is I've put the saturation on 20. I haven't made it completely black and white, so there are hints of colour in there. I reckon it's a nice effect, but yeah. And once you've done that, then you want to Gaussian blur it. So effects, blurs, Gaussian blur. Don't make it completely blurry like this, because then that just looks a little overdone. I'll do a 15 for that. What this does is it also makes our main focal point the middle, and what we'll do is we'll make the middle look like it's a bit magnified, and then if you're following this tutorial and you've blurred it, you'll notice that there's some transparency issues here and here, up the top and middle. What we're going to do is we'll just select the top part of background and then just drag it down so it comes a little behind the background middle, and then do the same with the bottom. Once you've done that, go to your background middle layer, get your magic wand tool, hold shift down again and click up the top. Then you want to invert your selection again, and then you want to go to your background layer, which should be the very bottom one, and press delete. You probably won't see the point of that, but it helps later on. Once you've done that, go to your background middle layer and select all of that, and then just drag it out a bit, and this is what gives it its zoomed in appearance. You can bring it up and down and all that if you really like. It'll probably help a bit. And then just go to your background layer and then click in the middle with your magic wand and then press Ctrl I and then go to your background middle and delete that, and see, does that. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add our shine. This is the part that adds the real nice looking part of it. Select inside the background layer, so and yeah, so you select inside there and create a new layer and call this layer shine. To get into the layer properties, you can double click on a layer, so just double click on a certain layer. Put shine above background middle, otherwise you're obviously not going to see it. Then what you want to do is you get your line tool, and inside that selection you just draw a line from there to, I don't know, there, and you don't have to do upwards going down, but hey, and oops, cool, that's like that. And once you've done that and your selection's still around there, you can then use your paint bucket tool and completely fill that white. And then you can press enter, deselect. Then what you do is you go blurs and Gaussian blur. Now we don't want to completely Gaussian blur this too much, so maybe a 2 point just to like soften the edges just that tiny bit. You'll see why in a second. Well, actually you probably won't see why, but it just helps having a nice soft finish with this. Then go to your gradient, make sure it's black and white as your primary colours, and then go up the top where you have your linear reflected, your diamond, your radial, and your, I don't know how to pronounce that, clinical. Yeah. You'll see a kind of colour spectrum type thing and a science beaker thing. Just go to transparency mode and make sure it's on linear, and then you can as you can see, you can muck around with the transparency. Right click to get this effect, because white will be what is transparent and black will be what is remaining. So just start just in front of the white line and then drag it a bit, and that'll get that soft finish, so you can't really see a definite finish of that. And then, by the way, I did this before and I've written a tutorial, so I'm going through again so I don't have to completely remember off the top of my head. And yeah, then you can go to your shine and your layer properties of shine, and you just choose your opacity. I'll go 110 for this. Sounds good enough. And then make a new layer, and we'll call this soft shine. And then grab your magic wand and go to background, select the middle, and then go back to soft shine. And then what you probably want to do is go to your gradient tool, change where we went to transparency mode back to color mode, and then in your colors choose black, click on more, and just put the transparency all the way down so you can't see the black at all. And then right click up the top here and just drag it down a bit. So that's looking alright. And then over to the right, what you want to do is you get your paintbrush tool. Oh wait, no, sorry, not your paintbrush, because then that would end up causing problems. You go back to your gradient, but you choose radial. And then you can start adding like radial gradients. It doesn't have to be all even, just something like that. So it gives it that effect. You can mess with the transparency in that a little bit as well. Well, 215 is fine. You don't have to mess with the soft shine much at all. And we are almost done. Almost. So if you've managed to follow my shitty tutorial up to here, you're doing pretty well for yourself. Pick a fancy text or something. I'm not really going to go through and try and find something too fancy. I'll just use Borealis. And oh, forgot one thing. With your colors, make sure you put black transparency all the way up so that you can actually see the text. So yeah, get your text size just right, and I'll just write your mum. Put that down the bottom. It's looking pretty fancy. Your mum's looking pretty fancy. And then